Starlight Ranch Airbnb. It got a little cold last night, so we're just starting up the cars, and yeah. Getting ready to go to the track. The G37 has been absolutely incredible. Other than a little clutch, a throwout bearing squeal, it has been top notch. So you can tell there has been some crazy windstorms here. We're under a high wind advisory until I think tomorrow. But we'll be traveling out of here and heading to a special secret location, which you'll, if you follow along, that's kind of the only place that you'll get to see. But we are in the Starlight Ranch here in Daggett, California, in the middle of a solar farm. But it's an awesome property, an awesome B&B. It was perfect for the 4 nights that we stayed here. We're able to go to Willow Springs and do Apple Valley from here, and also head to the secret location from here. So yeah, like I said, I appreciate everyone for hanging out, watching in. I'm doing the daily vlogs, and then I'll get home and sit down and make like an actual, I don't know, hour or whatever movie. So yeah, like I said, we're headed out, going to Apple Valley again, hoping to really fine-tune my lines and try to just absolutely kill it out there. Hopefully to get onto the media rolls or something. Someone take a photo of me. I'm trying my best, and so is Dan. But neither one of us are real media guys, and I'm still learning, just like I am with drifting.
Let's go! Life's like a movie. Lights, camera, action. Put your mind to it, live the life that you imagine. Life's like a movie. Lights, camera, action. Started out with nothing, now I'm big. Yeah, they try to stop me, find a way. Didn't have a lie, now we're drinking champagne. Vision 2020, been a party all day. After everything we've been through, you know that we deserve to have a good time. Baby, you're a dime, I'll be watching you whine on the dance floor, yeah, your body like wine. Getting better over time, your body like wine. Got me tipsy, baby, all about love like the 60s, baby. Getting lost in the moment, going this is crazy. Good girl, but with me, you've been misbehaving. Stacks in your bag, all them things you craving. You can get and go ahead, help you unwind, get rid of that stress. I'm out of my mind, and you know what comes next. Here's to success. Life's like a movie, lights, camera, action. Put your mind to it, live the life that you imagine. Life's like a movie, lights, camera, action. Life's like a movie, lights, camera, action. Put your mind to it, live the life that you imagine. Life's like a movie, lights, camera, action. It's gonna be fine, you just put that one leg in front of the other and keep moving, you will get what you need. We don't let them bring us down. About to make history, run this town. What we need is passion, living by the code, cause you know the streets watching. I've been with a freak, love it when you speak Spanish. Money, that my language, DJ turn it up, it's the new classic. Life's like a movie, lights, camera, action. Put your mind to it, live the life that you imagine. Life's like a movie, lights, camera, action. Life's like a movie, lights, camera, action. Put your mind to it, live the life that you imagine. Life's like a movie, lights, camera, action.
Alright everyone, so this is just simply me just hitting this turn. So in quite a few of these clips you'll kind of see me hit this first big main entrance off the main straight, which is the big backy section. If you've seen anything on social media, on ABS, Apple Valley Speedway, you will most likely see people going off in that exact first turn into the tire wall, because it's a for the guys that know what they're doing, there's a dude in a Corvette that does 360s on that entrance, and it's just a nasty turn. So you can see I'm just barely kind of hitting it. It seems fast to me at 65, 60 miles an hour, but a lot of people do that a lot faster. So this is the back section. This, as I was talking this entire lap, I did do the full lap at AVS. Sometimes you'll see me just hit the first turn, do the next 2 or 3, and then stop and pull onto this straightaway. I think it'll be in this one. If not, I'll just cut this voiceover out. But you'll see there's third gear, hit the e-brake, and then once I'm clutched in, I'm still downshifting into second, and then clutch kick back out of here. And it kind of, what I was trying to practice is getting this line up right here. So as you transition, and be able just to throttle out of this without a bunch of e-braking or the ugly steering input that you saw from me there. And yes, this is just a quick lap. I spent a lot of time just practicing this line exactly. It's mainly just getting around, hitting the straightaway, and then hitting that first turn and just trying to get that section right. I was trying to conserve tires. I was, no matter that I switched to the C's on the driver's side, I was still just absolutely shredding the driver's side tire. So it may be something inside my diff. I'll have to look into that a little differently. But either way, I mainly just did what you're going to kind of see me here. I'll switch back from different camera angles and things like that. But yeah, overall, AVS was probably... Willow Springs was my favorite track of Drift Week. This was my second favorite. I would most likely drive the 18 to 22 hours or 24 hours that it is to go from Texas to AVS, just to see my B&B boys again and to do this track. What's up, everyone? So I have been shredding it, absolutely just on track as much as possible. The only time I'm off a track is clearly now, because I went through a full tank of gas again, but also because I have to change the driver's side tire so often. So this track has a lot of right-hand turns, and I am full throttle in second gear, and so the driver's side tire is just wearing extremely fast compared to the passenger. They are the cheaper tires, so I did that for just because of Drift Week and just budget wise and all that fun stuff. But they don't like to be they have to be heat cycled, so they don't like to be hot lapped, and I am very impatient. So it's recommended to do 3 or 4 laps, come in, swap passenger side, driver side, and kind of repeat the process. I have just been staying out there for probably 7 to 12 laps at a time. So it's clearly my fault, but I'm having a blast. And I bought the tires. I don't want to take the tires home, so I'm gonna go out there and shred it some more. We got another day tomorrow. The track will close in about an hour. I will once again get home and just try to fight through the satellite internet and all that fun stuff, get you another daily vlog out, so you can watch tomorrow and check out my progress for today. But I don't feel like doing the camera, plus it's super windy out, so this is actually a perfect time to do just a cut in. Having a blast on Drift Week. Careless is taking care of us. I'm still a little new. I am, though, just chunking it in full top of third gear into the backy section and kind of practicing that and making sure I got that down pat. I can do some of the other stuff because it's from cams. All the tight technical stuff I'm not very worried about. It's just the big fast initiation entry. Quit talking and let y'all get back to the action. So we're here on track, Apple Valley. We made it. Everyone else is kind of doing the same thing as us. They're a little slow getting here. So yeah, it's 41 and blowing wind, so I'm gonna take it easy first couple laps. I do have, so this is a vlog, so you actually know some information instead of just watching me drive. I have been having a problem with the driver's side tire. This track in particular is a lot of high speed, full throttle, turns to the right, so it puts a lot of strain on the driver tire, and I was just absolutely shredding them. So I have been doing the cheaper 08Ds, and they worked good on all the other tracks. Horse Thief at Willow Springs kind of showed me that they're a little softer, so didn't think anything of it, thought it was a track, and I kind of started doing the same thing, even worse here. So what I decided to do is run D's like normal on the passenger side, but run the stiffer, the 300 treadwear C's on the driver's side, and we'll see how that goes.
Without using your e-brake. All my fault. No, it's not your fault at all. Which one did hit? I was zooming and I was like, oh shit. Which one did hit over there? Oh, way over there. You were right behind us. Well, I know. I was trying not to use the e-brake, and so I came around that turn and I gave it another flick. And it was just an experience. Next time we use that e-brake.
I don't know if you can see it on the film, but it is snowing. It's snowing out here in Apple Valley. So we're gonna go do another couple laps in the snow. See how it goes. So here we got this crazy, just all of a sudden snowstorm. It had been overcast all day and it was freezing cold, like 28 degrees with the wind chill. It was realistically probably 34, but 30-mile-an-hour winds. Being out in the middle of, I believe, the desert, it really helped kind of emphasize this little snowstorm. And so what it did is put just a layer of almost ice on, and you can see it in where the tires, basically where all the tire marks are, but that is basically ice at this point, and so I hadn't been to Adams yet, so I didn't go. That's where you'll get to see later on in this video. You'll see me actually drifting in the rain, but this was like an experience that I had never done before. Not to mention that it was actually like snowing like crazy in the middle of California. So yeah, it was just a good experience. A lot of guys were spinning out. I was just kind of having fun. As you can tell, it wasn't great at all. Just grabbing every bit of angle my GK Tech would let me do. Dad's filming on the GoPro and his phone at the same time. So we're just kind of out there just having fun. You know, that's exactly what I told him. I said, I'm just going to go out here and have fun. And that's what we did. So it's all about the Drift Week adventure. Alright, so as you all know, I am still new to this, and so kind of having the mindset to go out drifting, have fun, kind of do all this, but also to be able to vlog and tell, you know, where I'm at, that I've arrived, and kind of to make these videos a lot more easier. To make these videos a lot easier on me and you guys. So you'll have to forgive me as I kind of just am working through it. You have to just forgive me as I kind of work through it, so that's why I'm having to do a voiceover right now. So basically, this is Adams. It is a torrential downpour. It's been raining. It was raining the entire day before. That's why we didn't get to go to Hoonigan. That was Aaron Losey. He got onto me for getting too close to the wall, which is kind of I felt that as a compliment. That means that I was hooking ass. But basically, so this is Adams. Torrential downpour the day before. It was still raining today. You can see half the track was closed off because of the standing water. Basically, Adams has a hardcore, strict policy about rubbing the walls, which is just plywood. If you rub it, they literally were shutting down the track, as you saw. Everybody had to come to a stop. You go, look at your scratch, run your credit card, and then sign a piece of paper, and then they resume the track. And so Aaron was realistically just protecting me, since I am newer on the Drift Week, and he didn't want to see me spend $750 or even $1,500, especially when I don't have the experience to be like purposely rubbing the wall or getting close to it. So that's what I did there, and I'll just let you kind of kick back, and you know, maybe you might prefer a little bit of the voiceover, but here I'm just kind of feeling the car out. I'm realizing how loose it is, but there really is some traction, as weird as that sounds. And then even like when you step off the passenger rear right over there on the rubble strip, it's real muddy. And even right here, you lose a little bit of traction on the front right. And so it was just interesting to kind of learn that and have that experience on an already tight and technical track anyway. So yeah, you can see the Grip Royal wheel working perfectly. I have been a fan of Grip Royal. They have surprisingly been a fan of me, and got a few things working with them and on the way soon, so I'll reveal that in another video. But yeah, I'll sit back and let you kind of enjoy this. I think I might end up running up on some people and trying some tandems since it was so slow. And yeah, I'll cut back in and interrupt you here in a little bit.
was ugly, but fuck, that was fun.
Alright, so that was my homie B-Rad at S13 Cinder on most social media platforms. He has a lot of experience, as you can tell here. He was chasing me, just kind of giving me some tandem experience, and he knew that I was driving wild, and that's what he was kind of saying to me as we were passing is, you know, just calm down, everything's good, because that was my biggest problem throughout the trip, is I'd just get a glimpse of someone behind me, and it would just it was like everything I learned went out the window, and it was just hammer down, video game style, get away. And that's not really the case. It's all up to them to figure it out. And so that's what I was trying to teach myself, is just to not look at the mirrors, basically. Realize they're there, but just know that it's their job to follow me. If I'm shitty or if I'm great, it's their job to follow me in that same manner. And so I kind of learned that by chasing the guy in the purple Mustang. I really enjoyed doing that. They seemed to be competitively matched. As you can see later on, of course, there's Naoki, wild as can be, and so I like to tell everyone that he saw me coming, so he pulled off. But anyway, that was Naoki. You can see how wild he was, and it kind of showed me a little bit of a line to follow him for a few laps. I have chased the Corvette, had a Corvette chasing me, and I either couldn't get away from him or couldn't get up close to him. So, alright, what's up everyone? So I didn't make a video this morning because it was dumping snow. Literally the snow was probably the size of a fist, of a child's fist. They were just humongous. So it was snowing, raining, all that crazy fun stuff. So we had an incredible day out here at Adams Motorsports, even in the rain and the snow. I got my feet wet, literally and figuratively speaking, on drifting in the rain. So I will add some footage here and there and all that fun stuff. I got some on this camera and I got some on some GoPros. I did actually start tandeming today with a V6 Mustang, and it was just the perfect person and car to practice with. I got sprayed in the face, which means I was right on his door, right on the rear wheel, which is where my cab was. And so I was just having fun with that. The car did great, and yeah. It is absolutely just completely dirty. But it worked. Everybody's car, it is just absolutely soaking wet out here. And that's what the track looks like as well. There's B-Rad. This crazy dude over here took his pretty bumper off and then didn't even help him fix it, so. But yeah, I'll do a little more tomorrow and go from there. What is up, everybody? Sunday, last day at Adams Motorsports Park in Riverside, California.
He doesn't have a car here.
Lucas doesn't have a car here, but he makes sure this one runs. But not in the rain.
Even worse.
So anyway, with Sunday morning, we're headed out to Adams Motorsports Park again for our second day. It doesn't look like it's going to rain today, so we'll see how the track conditions are. I was down around 20 psi yesterday and having fun in the rain. It was slippery and oily and all that fun stuff. I did bend a wheel dropping it off. Wasn't near as bad as Rudy, who literally broke his wheel off at the same turn. So we'll just have to keep an eye out for that today. We are going to run all day today till about 5. with public spectators, and then we are packed up and headed to Vegas tonight. It's about 3.5-hour drive from Adams to Vegas. So we just have to make sure we don't write the car off or anything like that. Same with these dudes. So we travel as a pack. But yeah. Anyway, make it short and sweet today. I'll update you once we get to the track. So I went out there, did a few test laps. This track is a whole new animal today. It's completely dry, so I had to raise the tire pressure up from 20 to now I'm at 50 cold, so it's about 60 hot. And we've been running around doing that. I just swapped sides, so I dropped as someone commented on an earlier video, I'm still running the C on the driver's side, but now I'm going to go ahead and just swap them over. So I swapped the passenger and the driver's side. We just were out there trying a couple of laps, and one of our B&B groups had a little bit of an issue. Fuel line popped up, and he had a fire on track. So I had to rush out there and use my fire extinguisher and another guy's just to get it kind of put out. And yeah, it's just part of one of those drifting. So I am worn out. We are on day 9, I believe, day 9 or 10. We were at our 4th B&B. I had to leave Adams on a tow truck last night, so I didn't really get a lot of footage uploaded. I got tons of footage from the day, but I didn't get it uploaded. I just was too tired from last night. We got into a B&B. They didn't allow garage access, so we just were kind of shut down, dead in the water. I spent the entire night and morning. I've been up since about 4. I'm kind of looking for places to do the transmission, to help, to offer a lift, whatever. So I found the part that I believe is the issue at O'Reilly's. It's about 30 minutes away, so the plan is to basically limp the car and then go to O'Reilly's and get the part that I have ordered and a few other things that we'll need. On these G37s, which is the same as a 370Z, they have an internal slave cylinder that's part of the throwout bearing, and it's inside the transmission bell housing, so you have to drop the transmission, which means you have to drop the exhaust and the drive shaft. So it's just something that's really hard to do in the driveway. It's really hard to do in a driveway that doesn't allow cars. B&Bs are weird out here in California. So yeah, that's what we're having to do. So
this side is much higher than that.
Rival Auto in Orange, California absolutely cleared out their shop for us. Insanely nice dudes. They're actually gonna do the work. Later, I backed this car out under its own clutch power. We are at Rival Auto Works. Clearly, they know exactly what they're doing here. And they cleared the shop out and literally did this while I learned how to do it and did it for me. 2.5 hours. We're packed up, headed to Vegas. 5 o'clock LA traffic. But yeah, these two dudes right here are insane. Amazing. Just an incredible shop. They got dynos. They got cars under covers. Clearly, we got a S15. And so hit up Rival Auto Works on Instagram if you need any of your supplies. They know exactly what they're doing. This VQ was chump change for them. Thanks again, Rival. What is up, everyone? I'm sure I look uglier after every time I get on here, but after a long, tiresome day at the Apex, the official store in California, which is Rival Auto Works, where we got the clutch replaced, and now I am currently at the hotel in Vegas, where everyone is going to meet up, and we are going to meet up with Larry Chin and do some rolling shots down the strip. So that's kind of going to be the end cap to tonight, to a very stressful day. Yeah, it's been insane. But in the parking lot, just kind of checking out some stuff. So we'll be able just to kind of let you see. Really like this over modified FC, because clearly I'm an FC guy. We got the Drift Foxes. J in an Isuzu truck. Lowrider on black Daytons. You don't see that very often with knockoffs. Yeah. I know, dude, they're black knockoff. Tony Crispin. I think he's got a YouTube channel. That's a nice little swapped. There's Rudy's. This has a Q60 drivetrain in it from a Q60. It is a... Okay, looks like a G35.
I'm going to take over
coupe.
because clearly I'm delusional from driving all day. That was Rudy Martinez G35 sedan, and I believe it has the twin turbo motor from a Q50. Could be a Q60, but I think they have a QX60, which is the SUV, and the Q50, which is the other new sedan. Anyway, it's a rocket ship. It's badass. So props to Rudy Martinez. Check him out on YouTube. That Chase Bays, that BMW was one of the tire changing guys. This is my homie Cam. He has a legit lime green Chaser, and he was just repping the Goon Squad sticker from GS Drift Deals on Facebook, where over 75 people have won cars for less than $150. And then I pan over and I'm just rambling on about my G37. I think I talk about the spark plugs, which we'll go over at the end of this video. But mainly that once it was up on the lift at Rival Auto Works, while we were kind of waiting on some things, while the guy was changing some things out, I noticed two bent tie rods, a crack in this wheel, which I'll point to here actually right now. A crack in that wheel. There was no boot on the steering rack anymore, so it was just collecting all types of fun stuff inside of there. We found treasures, and so that's what ultimately decided the deciding factor that we would be big boys and pack up and go home after Vegas instead of attempting to go to Utah. So got distracted. Squirrel. Anyway, so yeah, I was talking about the car and just kind of why we decided to go on back to Texas. We're still about to do the photo shoot. And then I'm just so in love with the S13 coupe that I'm going to have one day for this channel and myself. It will be a right-hand drive, but I'm going to own one with a KBD kit. I also pan over here to Wout's, I believe that's how you say it, Corvette. He is a Wisefab and Feel guy. He's also, I think he is a rep for them in Amsterdam, and I don't know how it all works. He's somehow big into it. That's Aaron Losey's rental car, so he rents it out to any of the overseas guys, international guys that want to come do Drift Week. It's a lot easier to rent one.
We'll shoot some shots of the rolling shoot and all that fun stuff. So, but yeah, thanks for sticking around, tuning in. It's been a long, crazy week. We are officially on day 11 of the trip. Some of the videos you'll see mark day 9. I didn't include the travel days and things like today, where it's just been absolute hell. So, other than that, I'll see you around. Thank you. is my very first attempt at a movie. So full disclosure, I was having trouble with Final Cut Pro doing more than an hour long, so that's clearly why it's taken me so long and why there's 2 parts. There's also a wardrobe change. So if you want one of these Drift Week 7 t-shirts, you can hit up Aaron Losey on Facebook. I think it's LoneStarDrift.com. Whatever the Lone Star Drift website is, go ahead and hit them up. There's sweaters, hoodies, stickers, anything like that left over. These shirts are nice, and it's, you know, it'll never be another set. So anyway, basically after saying all that, I wanted to thank everyone, and I won't take up a lot of your time, but as I stated, some things changed personally. So after Drift Week, I really just realized that this is what I want to do full time. So a little backstory is I had a really nice job, built really fancy pools, and kind of just, this isn't the sole reason, but I got a lot of pushback for wanting to take my 2 weeks all in succession. And so ultimately, about a week before I left, I was let go, and they didn't even pay me for the vacation time that I got for that year. So I basically went from expecting, you know, a pretty good amount of money for the next 2 weeks, the way the paychecks came through. And when we left, I would have money to survive, I would have a more cushion basically while I was, you know, 1,400 miles away in a drift car, away from everything. So, you know, I had someone stay here. I'm a single parent. I have had custody of my son since he was 4. He's now about to be 16. So, you know, I have dogs. I have fish tanks. CoralCellars.com. It's on Facebook, whatever. But anyway, I have fish tanks. I have a life here at home that I had somebody taking care of that dedicated basically their 2 weeks also to doing this for me. So, you know, I had a lot, I needed that money basically to come through. And so they decided to let me go, and then hit me with a letter that I can't build pools or do anything like that. So it's kind of comical because we are in Texas and 2023. So that's really irrelevant, but it really let me go on Drift Week, not only to teach myself and learn how to drift and get more experience, but of what I really want to do. Like, what am I doing? I don't have to worry about anything for 2 weeks. I had my house taken care of, and so it allowed me to do some personal time to think. And this is it. Like, this is what I want to do. I set a goal to do 50 events this year, and, you know, I set a goal to try to get monetization this year on through this channel. It's growing kind of. I kind of see just through the analytics like where people are kind of going away, and, you know, some of these times like when I'm just rambling on in my car. But hopefully just the few little things that I've done, you know, increase the quality of the camera. I've actually got a microphone so that I can tune and kind of really like make everything more pleasurable for you guys. I watch a ton of YouTube videos. I probably watch more than I should. I watch just a lot, almost like a TV show. I have all my subscriptions, you know, Taylor Ray, LZ. And so just seeing all the guys who I consider professional YouTubers, you know, just trying to get that down. What you don't see is the editing and what goes on behind the scenes and how you edit an hour-long video without locking down a terabyte MacBook Pro. And so all those things, you know, go on to say this is what I am after. And so I have to figure out how to reach that monetization goal. So it's to get a lot more watch hours and the 1,000 subscribers. So definitely need to work on that, but also I understand that it takes more content, better content, things like that. So that had me thinking of, you know, what would be content. There is a racetrack for sale. Obviously Cam's Acres is for sale. It's way out of the budget right now, but it would be something similar like that to see my progress. I have a construction background, so, you know, watch me build that place out and just breathe new life into something. So I don't exactly know what it is, but I am going to work on making better videos for you guys and girls, and to actually like start doing more video doing more content. So when I get to shows, or what I'm doing at the drift events and kind of the other people, and do more ride-alongs and not make it just about my kind of goofy driving, although it is getting better. But kind of to get back to where it is something more enjoyable to watch, where it is able to be shared, commented on, you know, or all that fun stuff. And so I really appreciate the ones that have stuck around. As I said, I am going to go over the actual physical hard-earned money that this Drift Week cost, and it is worth every penny to me, because I was looking for a seat time car anyway before this opportunity came up. I originally was going to take this car, but now doing it, I understand and thank Aaron Losey more than he could know for talking me out of taking the Taylor Ray's old FC. I say that he had fun with this car, but I've made it my own. But it's still raw and crazy, and no, we would have not had a fun trip. It would have not. No, there's no way. So anyway, I was looking for a seat time car. This opportunity came up to go to Drift Week, so I started looking even harder, and the option was right in front of my face the whole time. One of the 8 rental fleet vehicles that Aaron Losey has for international drivers to come on Drift Week. So there's lots of 350Zs, and then the G37 that the Drift Games guys did. So if you go back in Drift Week 6, you'll see Dave England and the boys go and take this car out, and literally I think it was the second to last track, maybe even the last track, the same thing happened with the clutch. It went hard as a rock. Or actually, I think his went straight to the floor. Mine went hard as a rock, and it was the same exact thing. They did it in a shed. I got lucky and found a shop in Orange, California. But anyway, so that car became available. I got it. I paid $12,000 for the car, and it's an 08 G37 GK Tech, ready to go. Shout out to Officer Dan. And BC Racing coilovers. It had NRG seats, NRG hub. It was basically ready to go. It just needed a little bit of refreshing on oil change and my spin on it. And so as you can see back in the older videos, and I would appreciate it if you went back, liked them, disliked them, whatever. I took off about 90% of the Drift Games livery and put my own in from Spinny Whoosh. So if you like the way that it looks, the pink, the reflective, all that, they did the door cards in here. Door cards, Spinny Whoosh. You can go to spinnywhoosh.com/Jason Drifts. Get you a little discount. Show them that you actually watch my videos, whatever. Get on there. They got tons of stuff. They got, door cards, sunroofs. They got full entire roofs, stickers, decals, number plates, anything like that. So anyway, you'll see me put that on and kind of make this car the best I could. I did have to spend, quite a bit more money than I really wanted on a seat time car, but it was 100% worth it in the end, in the long run. So anyway, you'll see me looking down just because I have some stuff written. So basically, $12,000 for the car. Boom, gone, out the way. So I had that saved up. I wanted a seat time car, a little more than I expected, but I expected to have a job. So did that. And then, of course, to do Drift Week, there is a $3,000 entry fee. And this is an entry fee for 5 tracks. So we did 2 days on track at most of the tracks, except for Willow Springs. And so that gets you into the gates, sort of. That gets you the entry fee into Drift Week and into the gates. And if you think about it, that is an absolute steal. Not sure that Aaron even makes money on it. He does it because he loves drifting. That's what I feel anyway, so I really appreciate the opportunity, and Mark working his butt off, Aaron Losey for putting this on, and all the other guys that were humble and made this opportunity happen. So $12,000 car, $3,000 entry fee. I also ordered 26 Valino tires. I got the cheaper ones. We get a discount just because we order so many at a time, and because they're going to be traveling with us, and the Valino is sponsoring the whole thing. So it's an awesome experience. It was a daunting amount of money to think about buying 26 tires, especially with the amount of drifting that I did. But it was actually really good. So I got 26 of the D tires, 265, 35, 18s. Got them all the same. and that was $36.50. And what that does is it includes traveling. They take all the tires to all the tracks, set them up for you. All I got to do is say, hey, I need 2 tires. Boom. They dispose of the tires, they swap them out, they mount them, balance them, all that fun stuff, set them back out for you. So paid that for that. Basically, so I did a total of 4,474 miles from the second I rolled out of this garage till I rolled it right back in and backed in. It was 4,474 miles. I ended up coming back with 5 tires. They came back with mark. Obviously, I didn't fit them in the car. So I used 23 Valino tires because I had 2 on the car when I drove there to the first track. So, and so included in that is $650 in gas. I filled up the car 17 times. It was a little, you know, 650 is a rounded up number, but it was right around there. So yeah, on top of that, we had $600 total in the Airbnbs throughout the time. Sometimes we stayed at the Badass one in Starlight Ranch with a hot tub in the garage, solar farm as a backdrop, the iconic, or the you know, the YouTube famous house from the other previous Drift Weeks 4, I think. And so we got to stay in some really cool places, and it was totally worth it. It's probably what we would, probably still less than what we would spend at staying in hotels and not having to kind of deal with that whole thing. So I did buy my passenger Dan the food plan, so it was $400 a piece, and so I spent $800 on that, and that included track side food. So not only was water, Coke, snacks, you know, like chips, donuts, honey buns, and you name it, they had it. And so that was readily available basically the whole time the track was hot. And then most of the time they served breakfast and lunch. One time I think we got dinner. But that was really cool. Evan is kind of, you can see in my other videos, he's in one of my sponsored posts. You know, he took care of us. I still paid for everything. I paid for sweaters and things like that. He chose to hook it up with some stickers and some vintage t-shirts. This absolutely awesome floral hat that I ended up getting Naoki signed. He just welcomed me with open arms. You know, he was like, I was like, hey man, can you mind if I put your stickers on my car and and you sponsor me? I'm new, I'm a nobody. I have 12, 50 subscribers on my YouTube at this time. And he was just welcomed me with open arms, and I couldn't be happier. And his whole crew treated me even better. Like, they didn't even know that for the first, few days or whatever, and they treated me just like I was family. And so I really can't thank Careless enough. So that's another plug for them. So live your life careless. Anyway, check them out. Facebook, Instagram, all that fun stuff. So I had $800 there. It paid for my passenger and me to eat. We still spent, another $200 on snacks, another $150 on food, a little bit of groceries, Little Caesars pizzas for everybody. We all took turns through the B&B buying food and stuff. So as far as the car goes, so this is incredibly insane for the amount of miles that I did. The car had 266,000 miles when I bought it. So, and it has already done a drift week. So basically all I spent on the car was $200 on that little slave thing. And since it's a lifetime warranty, I was able to pull up the information. I got a hold of Dave and the crew and kind of got that information, and I was able to pull up the warranty for that one, the one that was in the car that went bad, and I was able to get my money back on that. So that was actually neutral. The dudes at Apexy Rival Garage absolutely hooked me up for just straight labor, and they even welded my exhaust for free. He appreciates Drift Week. He knows that I was in need, and I also got to see how to work on my car and see how the transmission and all that fun stuff to work. As you can see, it looks like in the speed up thing that I was standing around a lot of the time. Insurance purposes, I couldn't work on the car, and neither could Dan, the mechanic I brought with me. But also, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I was able to work on, like shift boot and things like that, and then stand there and watch. I took the axle off and got to help put it back on. I put the exhaust back on, but I was able to really watch him and see what he was doing and what that entailed, and so that is worth more than any YouTube video, although I do appreciate him. It was worth that, just to be almost hands-on, but everything else involved. So yeah, that was $350. They got it done in and out like that, so that was cheap. So I also, on the way in, I can't remember if it was in between Apple Valley, I think it was in between Apple Valley and Adams, I stopped at an O'Reilly and wanted to just check why I had a misfire, so I went ahead and bought all 6 new plugs. And while I was doing that, I found that one of the coils was broken, so the little rubber pieces, it just didn't look right, so I went ahead and just grabbed the only other one at the O'Reilly's, popped that back in. I think that was like $240 total for that. I have another $100 in fluids, power steering fluid, brake fluid, a quart of oil, and just things like that. And that's it. I mean, and then when I got home, you know, I noticed that I had at Rival, I noticed I had the 2 bent tie rods and the cracked wheel. The cracked wheel's fine. It's a drift wheel. The tie rods overnighted were less than $100. So shout out to Officer Dan once again, GK Tech. Yeah, you know, overall I have it all added up. I spent $21,450. Now, if you subtract the car from that, it's only $9,400, so it's less than 10 grand on Drift Week. And so if you have a capable car, or a car that you know like the back of your hand and can fix every single time it breaks, be rad. You know, if you watch this, I'll know if you watch this. You can still do it for that price. You can do that all day long. And that's what Aaron told me it would be. He gave me a rough number, and it all depends on the Airbnbs and how lavishly you want to spend. We didn't do any of the sightseeing, anything like that. So gas mileage, things like that would have increased, but nothing crazy. It probably would have still not broken 10. And that's really impressive. If you think about it, even skipping, I could have still gone to Utah and I just would have came back with less tires and probably a couple more tanks of gas. The tie rod could have been bit back out hindsight. You know, I got scared and came home. So Drift Week 8 will be different. I am going to refresh the car a little bit and take it again if Aaron will take me. That's it. You know, if you want to do Drift Week, you know, that's what it costs. It costs that. You can't put a price on the adventure and the friends and the experience of all of that. And hopefully, as you can tell, you know, I was able just to go back out to Cam's and just send it like I knew what I was doing, when I've always been tentative at that place, even though it is my home track, what I consider my home track. It's the experience of a lifetime. It gave me so much experience because I was just sent out there. Like, you know, Aaron is a great host. He's awesome. The entire Drift Week crew is, but the whole point of it is that it's part of it. You make friends, you get help, you do things like that. So, like, you know, when something broke, Aaron's like, cool, that means you were doing good, fix it, right? And you're just you're as new as I am, you know, you're just like, all right, cool, you know, you figure it out. You go pick a part, you pick a pool part, whatever you want to do, and you fix it. And so it's all about the adventure. And I can't thank Aaron and Mark and everybody like that. Valino Tires, Careless, Spinny Whoosh, Unit F14 powder coating here in DFW. Just all the guys that, you know, let me put their stickers on my car and took a chance that I wasn't just going to be out there goofing off, or that I was just going to do it, you know, just to get cool stickers on my car. I wanted to start to build that relationships, you know, or start to build those relationships and see how that would work, and, you know that I'd have to perform a little bit. And I'm working on everything from the Facebook Reels to the Instagram Reels to the TikToks to kind of better my craft all the way at once. So it has its challenges and it has its challenges and it has its challenges. It has its issues. It has its fuck me. it has its challenges. And I'm enjoying the experience. I'm having fun. So yeah, I got a new video. Now that I've cleared this 967 gigabytes that this movie has taken up. So that leads me to the last thing. If any of you have sat around and actually watched this, and you know somebody that edits videos, even if like somehow one of the famous YouTubers watches my video and like manages to stumble back here in the back, if you know how to stop my computer from making an 800 gigabyte movie out of 60 gigabytes of footage, I would love your input. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You could leave a comment on here. I would appreciate it just incredibly. That's just kind of the issue I'm having right now. I can make the 20-30 minute videos no problem. It's these bigger, longer ones that I wanted to link together. It's killing me. It's killing me, Smalls. So yeah, on that note, I'm going to enter some still photos, a little bit of background music to get you out of here and get you on your merry way. I really appreciate you. If you can, like and subscribe. I know you're probably tired of hearing that. Everybody says that, but it truly does help the algorithms. I can tell. I mean, I got 240 views on my last video. Other than Drift Week, that's the best amount of views I've ever done. Even my son watched it with his friends, and so that's cool. I really appreciate that. And if you want to help a brother out, go ahead and share it. Share it on one of those social media platforms. This guy is a dork. Check out this, or look at what Drift Week's done. Check it out. There's a Drift Week playlist. One of my followers has created an awesome Drift Week 7 playlist that compiles all of my videos, plus everybody else that's really ever tagged Drift Week 7 and what they saw. They're really intuitive, it appears, with who's going, who has channels, and things like that. So yeah, I really appreciate everybody. So the goal is, I just spent the weekend at Cam's, which I'll be uploading in the next day or so. I have another private event planned for Cam's on April Fool's. And then I go to Houston to celebrate my son's 16th birthday. And at the same time, I'm doing my first ever competition. So the Lone Star Drift competition is there at the Houston Police Academy. So if you're in that area, come on out, spectators. We do ride-alongs, things like that. There's a lot better drivers than me out there. You will probably see me make it one round into qualifying because yeah, it's me and G37, and yeah, but that is part of the experience. So I've got that going on. So that's next 2 weekends. Fuel Fest, Texas Motor Speedway, taking the No Rotor FC. I'm gonna make sure that I have it dialed in. I had a blast at Cam's last weekend in it, as you'll see, but it's a smoke show out on those other track surfaces, so I'm excited to take it. I'm gonna get probably another 15. I know I've got 10 coming, but I might have to get another 10 tires to kind of deal with all these. We've got an urban drift event on May 7th. I have a charity event in Tulsa, Oklahoma on May 27th, and I might try to squeeze in a private event just for like 3